I did.
Okay, well, first of all, Bill was a justice of the peace for how many years before me?
15.
For 15 years. But we always had the thought that what if something happened to him and he wasn't able to do a wedding, then he would need a backup. So I decided to become one to be his backup. And then I decided when I started to do weddings, hey, I like this. So I decided that I would be as active as he was in being a justice. Story. Now, Bill?
Well, there weren't many husband and wife justice of the peace teams in Massachusetts. And it was just very convenient for my wife to be one as an alternative to me in those times when I wasn't available.
We have done weddings together too, per request of the bride and groom.
Being available when a person is in need of the justice of the peace. I've been in a position to respond to a call from a hospital where a person was on their deathbed, and they had the man and the woman have been together as partners most of their life, and they never really had a need to get married until they realized one of the other person was dying, and from a legal point of view, they wanted to get married, and I was there to perform that ceremony. I think that's something that I really enjoyed doing. I think the association has a way of bonding with other members so that if we had an issue, we could turn to people with similar interests. We were at one time an association of well over 600 members from all over the Commonwealth, from different professional instincts. We had attorneys, we had public and private citizens, we had political members, we had members that were governmental employees. So if we had someone that had a particular issue with government, we could turn to folks that worked for the Commonwealth, and we knew how we could resolve that issue if there was an issue. That was the best part about the association. There were people that were go-to people, which was a good part of the association, which was a plus of the association.
And the networking has always been great, because if you find at the last minute you can't do something, you knew who you could call that could help you out. That was one of the biggest advantages, I think, of being a member. Well, one thing I am proud of, but I don't know if any of it has been, if you have any files that record this, but for 5 years, I was the editor of the Justice Journal. And I used to have a part of highlighting 3 justices for the month. This came out, no, it didn't come out monthly. It came out quarterly. Quarterly. And I highlighted 3 justices, and I was very proud of the work that I did. So I think that's my legacy, but I don't even know if these former newsletters are even available. I don't know where they are.
Yeah, they're available in our website, but I can show you.
Okay.
Show you. Yep. Bill, how about you? What legacy do you hope to leave for future justices just like me?
I think as a longtime member of the association, I think what I can give to the association is a historical perspective on the association and also on being a justice of the peace. You have to understand there are justices of the peace members that have been a justice of the peace for well over 30 years, and we have an in-depth knowledge of what we do. And I think one of the strongest things that we can give to new members is how we have been a justice of the peace and how we can give to new members. Go to the meeting. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your ears open. Volunteer for committees. Pay attention to what's being said. Contribute as much as you can, and have one hell of a good time.
Well, I would sanction what Bill has just said. And there's a lot to be said for listening and for trying to take in what you hear at these meetings. By trying to by trying to get the new people to become justices and have these people work up to be an officer. If as far as Bill said, about wanting to know how to be a justice, most people have the ideas about being a justice, but there are no words given to you when you become a justice by the state as to what you even say. So it's how to make your ceremonies interesting, how to conduct you with your clients. And for the next 50 years, I think that we should have maybe some more workshops for the new members as to what they do when they, and also to stress upon members that the fees that are charged are set by Massachusetts, and they shouldn't charge more than what the required fee is. Some people will charge as much as they can get, but that's not really ethical.
I think when a person joins the association as a neophyte justice of the peace, they're assigned an experienced member to work with and to bring them along into the association and to bring them along into the justice of the peace experience and to really teach them how they're best served as justice of the peace. There are many things that we can teach a new member that they really don't learn properly. We can teach them vows and ceremonies and things like that. It's very important that they're taught properly how to handle themselves as justice of the peace. I think that's very important. I've seen seasoned justice of the peace members mishandle their duties as justice of the peace. And I think we as board members have a responsibility to them because they really don't know that they're doing things improper. And we have a duty to put them back on a proper path.
Right.
Because we're professionals. Let's act like professionals.
Well, I can answer that I was a classroom teacher for 37 years. And one of the weddings I did, the bride, the groom, the most of the attendants, and half the people there were former students of mine. And I just thought that was wonderful. I had a wonderful time doing that ceremony, and it does make a lot of difference if you know the couple that you're marrying. So in that case, I certainly knew them and most of the guests. So that was one of my biggest, one of my favorite weddings.
I think one of the most unforgettable ceremonies was probably a ceremony that was in an official situation. I think we here in Lowell have a very impressive city hall, and I think a ceremony that I've done in that surrounding in City Hall, or even one that I did in the State House in Boston. I think a lot of people are impressed when the ceremony takes place in an official situation. And I think a lot of justices of the peace don't take advantage of an official situation. And they have to know that they can take advantage of those situations and take advantage of the presence of a city hall or a town hall. There's a law that says you can do a ceremony in an official presence, and a justice of the peace should be aware of that. So when someone calls up and says, I want to get married, they should be aware that they can do the ceremony in the town hall or city hall. They can do a marriage on the deck of the USS Constitution.
That's right.
You know?
So outside of your Justice of the Peace role, what passion projects brings you joy?
Well, right now I'm in an exercise program in an adjoining town, and I love the group, I love the instructor, and it's a very, very enjoyable hour that I spend doing this a couple of times a week.
How about you, Bill?
I enjoy being a justice of the peace, and I feel the association should take a very strong position in planning some type of activity where people of the Commonwealth become aware of the association. Valentine's Day is February 14th, and maybe we should plan some type of statewide activity in every city or town where the justices of the peace within the Commonwealth plan some type of activity for February 14th.
Try to be active in the MJPA by going to meetings and to participate more in the association, because through the contacts you make in these meetings, you find that the networking is very important, and it brings a more cohesive group, and you look forward to the next time you meet with these people, which might only be at MJPA meetings.
I think each of us within the Commonwealth are an arm of the governor of Massachusetts. And we should recognize that fact, and we should promote that fact that we're there to serve the Commonwealth. We have other duties as justice of the peace, and we should not shy away from that. And we should promote too. In Lowell, we have city councilors in the towns, they're selectmen, and we should make them aware who we are. And if we can serve the community in any way possible, we should be available to do that.
Oh, and one other thing for justices, they should make the city or town clerk, especially in their own community, almost like their best friends, because city and town clerks can be very helpful by referring weddings, by at least knowing who you are, so that if people come in to pull a license and they say, do you know any justices of the peace? They can give them a list, but then they might also say, but we know these people will do a good job. And if they can't do that if they don't know you. So to be familiar with the city and town clerks in your own community, but also in your surrounding communities, can be a real help.
Bill and Daughtery, anything else you would like to add to this interview?
Well, the years that we have been justices have been wonderful. We've enjoyed doing the weddings. We've enjoyed meeting different people. It's been a pleasure. Sometimes it's not as good as others, but for the most part, it has been a wonderful experience.
Yeah. How about you, Bill?
I think the association hasn't done enough to recognizing the service of its members to the association. We have some very good members that have been faithful through the years. They may not attend the meetings as faithfully as possible, but they've been there. And I think the association should set up some type of a committee or some type of process to recognize the long-term members. And I think if the members of the board attempted to recognize those long-term members, I think it would go a long way in recognition.
Awesome.
It's been a good association,